Three things, or should I say reasons, that couples, married couples, should open up a joint investment account and invest in using some investment app. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll give you $5 to get your investment started. Hopefully that three is not backwards, but if not, you get the point. Hello, you got Mr. Smith. Point 5 of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And in this channel, we're all about empowering you in the areas of marriage, money, marketing, you name it. We just want to give you some form of empowerment. And in this video, I want to talk about a joint investment account that couples should open and three things that they strongly should consider investing in once they open up the joint investment account using a joint investment app. We have one that we recommend. Of course, there are a ton out there. And if you use the one we recommend, then we'll put $5 in your investment account. But we want to talk about those three things that we feel you must invest in because it only makes sense. Now, let's talk about investing for a short segment and the importance of it. As you all know, when it comes to the money that you make, you shouldn't just consider it as money that you make to spend, to give away, to buy the things that you want, pay bills. Money is more than that. Money likes to be treated as if it's more and put on a pedestal, which means that it's only right that you invest a portion of it. Now, I know you may have percentages. You may tithe. You may give away, give back. And all of those things matter. But you should also put it into something that can bring you in more money. And there are a ton of ways to spend money on something that can reap you a harvest or give you some type of return on investment. But let's talk about stocks for a minute. Let's talk about investing your money into an investment bank or a joint investment account that can allow that money to double over time. Let's talk about that because it's a good chance that wherever you put your money at, it's not growing. Even if you put it in a savings account and they told you that it's growing by a certain percentage. When you do the math, if you had $1,000 in that savings account, it's a good chance that you might have made 25 cents. If that. It might be a little bit more, but it's not worth it once you understand the power of you going directly to joint investment accounts and getting started on your own and bypassing the bank altogether. And by the bonus one, I'm gonna give you a bonus one at the end. When I give you that bonus one, you'll understand why. So, number one, as a married couple, what should you be investing in? Number one, I'm sure as a married couple, you are going out and buying groceries, buying food. And it's a good chance that you may be buying groceries from a big chain grocery store, somewhere that is publicly traded. And by publicly traded means that you can buy a stock in that particular store, or you can see who may own the chain or the grocery store that you go to, and you may be able to purchase stock through them. Examples of that is Walmart. You know, it's a publicly traded stock. You can buy stock in Walmart, and many people buy their groceries from there. Kroger, that's one. You know, you can buy stock in Kroger. It's publicly traded. And, you know, you can invest in it. So the thing that I'm getting across is this. If you're already going to be going to the grocery store anyway, especially if you're a family and you have kids, why not invest where you shop? It only makes sense, right? And I'm going to tell you a brief story because this is where we had a light bulb or aha moment. We go to this particular grocery store all the time. And I've listed it in, you know, out of the first things I just mentioned. But we go to this grocery store all the time. And it's nothing for us to go to the checkout. Go there for one or two items. You know how it is. Go there for one or two items. Leave with 12 or 13 items. Go there thinking you don't need a basket. Leave wishing you had a basket because you're carrying multiple items. How many of you have been there? If you've been there, like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment. We do that all the time. So we go in there expecting to spend $10 and spend $100. That happens over and over again a couple of times out of the week. We got kids. If you have children, you get it. You understand. That's just the nature of it. But what we start to think is, okay, we teach financial literacy and we're investing in certain things that was recommended. What if we just looked into some of the areas that we're already spending money in anyway and see if it's publicly traded for one, and for two, how much it costs per stock? We were blown away to see that the place we were shopping at on a regular basis, a couple of times out of the week, it seemed like we were going there just for little knickknacks, or we might buy a bundle of things and just have to go back the next week or a couple of weeks later, whatever the case may be. The cost for one share of that stock was less than most of the times what we were spending when we're checking out. So this is the thing. If we were spending $100, but the stock itself cost $25 to own a piece of the company, why not own a piece of the company and just smile as everybody else is shopping? Because you know that it's beneficial to you because you have ownership as a shareholder in that company. So married couples should definitely consider where you may be spending your money at in the form of groceries, or where you're going out to eat on a regular basis. All of those things tie into you feeding yourself. See if it's a publicly traded stock and if that's something that you can invest in. If so, consider it, especially if the price is right. That's just number one. Number two, and this one is mainly if you have children, if you have kids. And this was another aha moment for us. We have twins. The twin boys, they ran through a lot of diapers. If a family has one child, they run through a lot of diapers, so you can only imagine twins. And if you have twins, then you already understand. And if you know somebody with twins, then you probably understand as well. One of the main things that we were going through were diapers. Consistently, diapers and wipes, diapers and wipes, diapers and wipes. And we bought a lot of different diapers, and we found our favorite one that we really liked, and we just kept buying those over and over. We had a set two that we were buying, switching from. It might have been, Pampers here and Loves there. We had a set couple ones that we would stick with for the most part. So we went and looked up if this particular stock was publicly traded, just to find out that it was under an umbrella, P&G, Procter & Gamble. It was under an umbrella that also had not only diapers, it had two different brands of the diapers that we were considering. It had Pampers and Loves. I believe those are the two. It had paper towels and things that we were already buying, all bundled up under this one stock. So to us, it was like, dang, we buy a lot of this stuff anyway. Why not also go a step further than just investing in the grocery store itself? Let's also invest in the product and have ownership in it as well. So that was another light bulb moment. That's number two. Number three, and I'm going to give you a bonus, and the bonus is probably the biggest one. You want to stick around and hear that bonus one. Plus, I got a free $5 that I want to give to you just for watching the video, just for listening to the sound of my voice, so you can start your joint investment account, using a simple investment app. Number three is think about your means of transportation. Now, if your transportation is a vehicle, then 9 times out of 10, I know a lot of electric cars are showing up. 9 times out of 10, it takes gasoline. Or 9 times out of 10, the car itself that you're using, you're driving it around anyway. It's somewhat of a form of an advertisement, because when people see other cars that they like, especially if it's one that's appealing, then they find themselves wanting that same car. Consider investing in the gas, the petroleum. See if you can find out the main gas station you may shop at. If you shop at a particular gas station, see if it's publicly traded, because you're spending money with them anyway. Why not have ownership? Or the vehicle itself, see if you can invest in the manufacturers of that vehicle. Why not? It only makes sense. Or even if you use public transportation, and this is a good one just based on the city that you live in anyway. Sometimes you can put your money into what's called a municipal bond fund, and it earns a little less percentage-wise than some investment accounts. However, it's protected a little bit more, and it's a great place to put your savings, money that you might have accumulated to create a contingency fund. If you put it in some type of municipal bond fund that's connected to your city, now not only are you loaning the city money, because cities, that when they set up a bond, it's a loan, and they take the money out of that loan and do whatever they do with it. So not only are you contributing to the city in the form of a loan because you took a bond, you're also growing that money, but you're investing it in the area that you travel frequently, so you're able to see what some of your investment dollars did, or some of the loan dollars did. So consider a municipal bond. And if you use city or public transportation, it's like you're investing in the city without many people understanding or knowing exactly what it is. Because most people don't know what a municipal bond is. So I'm just breaking it down in those terms just so you'll understand. It's just You giving the city a loan, and they have a certain maturity date on their loan, and your money will grow to a certain amount based on a certain time frame, so your money is able to grow. Strongly consider that. That's number 3. Now, I told you I was going to give you a bonus one. Last but definitely not least, if you're a married couple, or you're an individual, depending on who's watching this video. If you're married, single, engaged, in a relationship, everybody should strongly consider investing where they bank at. Investing where they bank at. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not giving any financial advice. These are just strong considerations that I feel that people should consider, because if your money is good enough to be spent there, then it might be a good chance that it's worth investing there, because other people think that it's a great idea to spend money there as well. So just using a bit of logic at the same time. So I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have a Series 6, 7, not planning to be this guru. But when you just put 1 and 2 together, it just makes 3. So consider investing where you bank at, because if your money is good enough to sit there, if you're good enough to use their credit cards or their debit cards or get a mortgage loan from these places, it only makes sense to invest where you got the mortgage from, where you got some of your money sitting there, where you got the bank card or the credit card in your wallet or your purse. Invest in those banks, and you may be surprised at how low cost some of those stocks are. We start looking at different banks and realizing, wow, we put deposits and get, trust them to handle our weekly deposits or, whatever the deposits we're getting, but we're not investing in this bank. Now, not all banks are investable, if that makes sense, meaning they're not publicly traded. But what we did do, because one of the banks that we used was not publicly traded. So we went to the bank, we went online and we got to doing our research, looking up different accounts, seeing, if it was a publicly traded bank. Just to realize that the bank that we were banking at wasn't publicly traded, but you can see where they had some investments or where they were investing, what they were investing in. One of the banks that they were investing in was a big chain bank. So not only are the banks using your money, they're also investing, and sometimes they're investing in other banks that you may not like, or you may not even be connected to. So you might get a clue of where you should put your money as well. So if they're putting the money there, then why not you invest in it as well? So we were able to find a couple of banks, and we just invested in quite a few of the banks that are in our local area, end up getting a mortgage through the bank that we were investing in. It was just a win-win scenario. So that's the bonus one. Invest where you bank at. And if you have somewhere that you're putting your money, consider seeing if it's a stock that can be bought directly through their company. So now you have ownership in all areas that you have dealings with. Just something to consider. Like I said, no expert. Now, what I want to do is give you a $5 start off just to get started. Like, hey, you might say, I do want to start investing. I just don't have anything to start with, or whatever the case may be. I have very little to start with. You can start investing in companies for very little, because now they don't make it to where you have to buy a certain amount of shares with many of these different banks or different investment banks or different joint investment accounts. A lot of them are getting astute to the fact that sometimes people might not be in a position to buy whole shares. It might be $200 to buy one share, but you got $20 you want to invest. Well, you can still buy a partial share. So the link that I'm going to provide to give you access to the investment app that we invest in, we got others as well, but you can click that link below and it should say, /investment app. Click that link. If you follow the steps, you get a free $5 to get started on your investment journey, and you can buy partial shares. So don't be alarmed if you look at something like Amazon, it probably has there for one stock in Amazon. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 1,600 or more now. I remember when it was 800, and but you can still buy partial shares if that's something you want to invest in, or maybe other ones. You can buy partial shares. So that $5 may start off as $5, but when the company itself gets a return on investment, everybody's money grows by the same percentage. So it doesn't matter if you had $10 in the investment account. If that money grew, or if it was a rate of return of where the money doubled, your $10 turned into $20, and somebody else $1,000 turned into $2,000. So it doesn't matter how small your investment is. It's all about the percentage of growth that you can experience based on whatever you invest. So click the link below. Hopefully this video did you some service, or at least gave you some ideas of things that you can consider investing in. And if you consider investing in those things that you're already spending money in, just, look at it as something that you just thought made sense. No financial advice. Click the link below. Go ahead and get access to the free $5. And I hope this all made sense and it does you well. Share this with somebody that you feel may benefit, or put something in the comments, some things that you may be experiencing, or areas that you may be spending money and you just didn't realize, wow, this is worth looking into and seeing if I can invest in this particular company. So that's all I got for now. Mr. Smith, 0.5 with Mr. and Mrs. Smith, signing out.